who are interested in Aggie Jumpstart who have joined in, and we're going to go over the various components of Aggie Jumpstart, and then we will have a section at the end for questions. So please do stick around and ask for questions if you have them. Otherwise, you can also email us at the Aggie Jumpstart email address, which we can put in the chat as well. And before we totally get started, you're going to hear from me a little bit. So I'll go ahead and give a brief introduction of myself. My name is Julia. I am the interim Aggie Jumpstart coordinator. So I will be helping us get geared up for the next year of Aggie Jumpstart. I'm also a graduate student at UC Davis. I'm earning a doctorate degree in ecology, and I'm the lead mentor for the Career Discovery Groups program. And we'll talk a little bit about that later on in our webinar. So before we get started, I am really proud to give this land acknowledgement. So I do want to take a moment to acknowledge the land that UC Davis is situated on. For thousands of years, this land has been home of the Patwen people. Today, there are 3 federally recognized Patwen Tribes: the Ketchil-Dihi Band of Wintun Indians of Colusa County Community, the Quetzal-Dihi Wintun Nation, and Yocha-Dihi Wintun Nation. The Patwen people have remained committed to the stewardship of this land over many centuries. It's been cherished and protected as elders have instructed the young through generations. We're honored and grateful that UC Davis is situated on those traditional lands. And to start us off with the Aggie Jumpstart info, I'm going to hand it off to Greg Anderson, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about the various components of Aggie Jumpstart and how you can participate in this webinar today.
Hi all, I'm Greg Anderson. I'm one of the academic advisors in the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences, and one of the academic advisors that works as a part of the Aggie Jumpstart program. To start off, I want to let you know that during this presentation in just a moment, we are all going to be turning off our cameras, except for when we are individually speaking. That way you can go ahead and focus on the presentation. What we'll be going over today first is an overview of the Aggie Jumpstart program. What is Aggie Jumpstart? What can you expect from the program? Next, we'll talk about the benefits and outcomes. So the students who do participate, what impacts does it have on them, or what feedback do they have about the program? Thirdly, we'll talk about the components of the program. What do you actually do during the academic year if you are a member of the Aggie Jumpstart program? Fourth, we'll talk about some student experiences, and we have some students who will talk about their time in Aggie Jumpstart. We'll finish up by going over, if you're interested in participating in Aggie Jumpstart during your first year at Davis, what you should do next. And then lastly, we're going to answer questions live. So if you do have questions, I'd encourage you to try to save them for the end of the presentation. They may very well be covered in the presentation, but there's definitely that Q&A button down there at the bottom of your screen. And you can go ahead and use that to ask questions live at the end of our presentation, and we will answer them. With that, I will also be going off screen.
You're muted, Greg.
Thank you. I turned off the wrong thing. So first up, what is Aggie Jumpstart? Aggie Jumpstart program is a program that's designed for students in their first year. It's designed for first generation students as you come to UC Davis and are getting used to the UC Davis campus and the various resources that are available here. It offers opportunities for you to build community, both with other students at UC Davis, with staff and faculty members and graduate students. Students who participate in Aggie Jumpstart have an opportunity to receive professional development, so to help you prepare for graduate school and for your careers, to work on leadership activities and develop yourself as a leader, as well as service opportunities that allow you to serve the UC Davis, the Davis, and larger communities around us. It's a fantastic way to meet peers as well as campus partners. A goal of Aggie Jumpstart is retention, so making sure that when you're here, you stay here until you graduate, to ensure that you have both academic success and professional success when you leave UC Davis. And coming back to a word that's really important to us is community, making sure that you feel like UC Davis is your home and that you have a community here that you feel safe in and you really enjoy. So there are different components to Aggie Jumpstart. It is a program that you'll participate in throughout your entire first year at Davis. The components include individualized advising for you specifically, one-on-one advising between you and an academic advisor at UC Davis. It's participation in a career discovery group course, which we'll talk a little bit more about what that actually means in a later slide. Building community with others on the UC Davis campus, providing those opportunities for developing both your leadership and service. Things that we have found over our 3 years of running the Aggie Jumpstart program in terms of benefits and outcomes that students have had is that we have found that students who participate in Aggie Jumpstart overall have a higher average GPA increases than students who are from similar backgrounds, so had similar experiences in high school, but did not participate in Aggie Jumpstart when they came to UC Davis. We've also found that our transfer students, because it's only a 3-year program, so our first years who did the program haven't graduated yet for the most part, but our transfer students have higher graduation rates compared to other transfer students that came in at the same time in the same majors from similar backgrounds. In surveys, students have said that they feel an increased sense of belonging at UC Davis and an increased community support. They also talk about the relationships that they have with both the College of Ag advisors as well as their TA mentors, relationships that go beyond their first year at Davis. Davis is a big place. There are tons of resources, which is fantastic, but it's so big that sometimes students feel like they don't know all that's out there. Aggie Jumpstart students feel like they have an increased understanding of both resources that are available at UC Davis and how to find events that are happening on campus. And lastly, students feel an increased sense of preparation for the careers from their Aggie Jumpstart program.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lily Bynes, and I'm just going to get us started in some of the advising components. I use she, her, they pronouns, and I'm an advisor in the Dean's office, and I've been working with the Aggie Jumpstart program since it got started. So I'll be adding a little bit more after my co-host or co-advisors here can provide an introduction as well. So I'll hand it over to Honora real quick.
Thank you, Lily. Hi, everyone. My name is Honora Knapp, and I use she, her, they, them pronouns as well. I, along with Lily, have been a part of the program Inaugural Advisors for 3 years, and we are really excited to be here as well, and hope to get to know you and give you an insight as to who we are too.
Okay, so I'm going to just cover 2 or 3 points here, just some benefits of the one-on-one advising through Aggie Jumpstart. We have a team of advisors in the Dean's office, which as a member of the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences, you have access to. However, being part of Aggie Jumpstart, you will have priority appointments. Greg, Honora, and I like to call it intrusive advising, but friendly advising. We are going to be checking in on you every quarter, and part of the advising component is at least 2 meetings with us during each quarter. Each of those meetings is intentional, and we have some set things that we want to check in with you about that are timely. And as new students, you just don't know what you don't know. And we want to be there for you for that transition to the university. So priority appointments are hugely important because sometimes there can be waits for advising appointments. So this is for your first year and beyond. So after your first year with Aggie Jumpstart, you're still, like I said, a part of our college, and you'll always be an Aggie Jumpstart alum. So you will always be able to reach out to any of us and on the team, and you'll be able to access those priority appointments by just letting us know that you're an Aggie Jumpstart alum. The other thing is our approach in advising is very much from a, sometimes a storytelling background, sharing our own personal experiences in our college experience, and getting to know one another with honesty. I wasn't the best high school student. I was definitely a little bit of a procrastinator, and I learned sometimes the hard way in college of how to be a better student. And even still, as a working professional, managing time and setting personal goals are things that I like to partner with my Aggie Jumpstart students in terms of sharing that level of honesty and partnership. And the last thing I'll mention, and I know that one of the other advisors will add on to this, but just the mentorship approach, the way that I see that through my lens is supporting the student that I'm working with, you sharing with me very honestly what your goals are. I'll also challenge you on those things in terms of holding you accountable when it's appropriate, and also just walking alongside of you when you might experience some challenges so that we can navigate those things together. The most important part of it is just being honest with each other, because we all make mistakes, and the best thing is to learn from it. And hopefully, as advisors, we can help you avoid or minimize the impact of those mistakes or challenges that are surely to happen. That's just part of being human. So I'll pass it over to, I think it's Greg.
Happy to jump back in. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the type of advising that we provide in Aggie Jumpstart and how it differs from other academic advising. In general, at academic advising, we're always happy to work with students to talk about what classes you should be taking, how to pursue going through different majors, navigating around different academic policies, setting up your general education requirements. There's a lot of academic components that generally we speak with students about. But in Aggie Jumpstart, we see our work with students is going beyond that, truly providing holistic advising beyond just academic components and serving as having a mentor type relationship. Lily talked about meeting with you at least twice a quarter. That means meeting with you at least 6 times through your first year. And that will really give you an opportunity to learn about us, for us to learn about you, and learn about some of your goals, both in the classroom, but outside of the classroom. What are your goals for grad school and your career? What types of student organizations and clubs are you hoping to get involved in? What sort of responsibilities do you have outside of class that might impact your time at UC Davis? And helping you develop goals over your first year at UC Davis and following up with you on them. So it's beyond the academics. We really want to serve you as a whole student and as a whole person. We know that your goals will evolve over time. Some of you may choose to change majors or pick up a minor or a double major. I've had students that I worked with this year who initially wanted to get an internship in a certain field, and then they decided that they wanted to actually pivot and go a different direction. So your advisors, Honora, Lily, and myself, will be there to help provide help along the way and not just stick and focus on one specific thing, even if that's not the thing that you're interested in doing at that point. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Honora.
Thank you, Greg. And of course, we also, as we've mentioned, we provide a comprehensive program for you all as students to discuss with us personal, career, mental health, social, clubs, organization goals, etc. We really believe and all have our personal stories of how when we ask for help and we create a network of support, how beneficial that is, not only during our own undergraduate experience, but also beyond. And so as advisors, you've heard this mentioned time and time again, it is about creating your network of support, and your academic advisors can be the first place that you can go to, along with your career discovery group, mentors that we'll be discussing in a moment. For us, we are able to provide you with tailored referrals and recommendations to help build the experience that you plan on creating for yourself at UC Davis. We also strongly encourage you to take ownership over your advising appointments with us. As Lily mentioned, we are partners here with you. And I also would add that we're also really creative with our solutions or next tangible steps that we provide. So we really take that time in our one-on-one meetings with you all to create a plan that is sustainable, realistic, and reasonable to achieve your challenges, and also accolade and appreciate those accomplishments that we know that you will have. Overall, our goal as academic advisors is to provide a safe and welcoming space of support, not only to UC Davis, but also to your experience here with Aggie Jumpstart. And with that, I believe I'm passing it over to one of our students, but actually Julia. Julia, take it away.
All right, thank you all so much. And I really can't reiterate enough that students really benefit from their relationship with their Aggie Jumpstart academic advisors. We often ask our students to reflect, and so many times when we ask them, you know, what was the best part of your experience in the program, I hear these names, Lily, Honora, and Greg, all of the time. And it just makes me so happy that, you know, our students really feel like that they have somewhere to look to for help. And yeah, so let me introduce Christian. He is an alumni of Aggie Jumpstart. So Christian, take it away. Let us hear about some of your experiences.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Christian Ayala Orvano. I am currently an undergraduate student in managerial economics with a focus in agricultural business. And I was fortunate enough to be part of Aggie Jumpstart just this past school year. And as a transfer student transferring from Woodland Community College, you know, I didn't kind of get the experience as, you know, other students that get usually with the first year to get connections. And thanks to Aggie Jumpstart, I was able to put myself out there and out of my comfort zone, and be able to be part of this community that Aggie Jumpstart is. So thanks to Aggie Jumpstart, for example, I was able to make one of their videos kind of explaining as well my experience. And also thanks to Aggie Jumpstart, I was actually able to participate in a FFA convention where we have students come in and do contests and earn different awards based on their agricultural knowledge. So I've really, thanks to Aggie Jumpstart, you know, especially the advisors like Julia, Lily, and Co as well that I've connected with within these past 3 quarters have really helped me develop myself and be the type of student I want to be, and kind of make me feel like I am at home here at UC Davis. Thanks to Aggie Jumpstart.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Christian. And I actually have kind of a fun fact about Christian. The first time I met him was not through Aggie Jumpstart, actually. I was getting ready for a field trip. I had a bunch of students that I was taking on a field trip to Lake Tahoe. And I had to go to, it's called Fleet Services, where you go and you get your van that, you know, I had rented for the day. And I was having trouble with my van, and Christian comes over, he was working, and he comes over and he helps me out. He like helps me solve my problem. I'm like, hey, I know you. I know you from Aggie Jumpstart. I had seen his video, but just hadn't had the chance to interact with him one-on-one yet. And so I just thought it made so much sense. You know, our students, they have jobs, they work really hard, you know, they get internships and do all of these kinds of things on campus. So yeah, I was very happy to be helped by Christian, you know, outside of Aggie Jumpstart. So yeah, that service component is strong with our students for sure. All right, thanks so much, Christian. And so the next kind of thing that we'll be talking about is career discovery groups. So I know that this has been mentioned a couple times already, and for good reason. Career discovery groups is this awesome course that is required by Aggie Jumpstart. So it's one of the only hard requirements for our Aggie Jumpstart students. And so when I say that, I mean that in order to be involved in Aggie Jumpstart and complete the full Aggie Jumpstart program, you do need to be enrolled in the Career Discovery Group's course. So this is a course. It's specifically for students in the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences. And this is a really great thing to join the Career Discovery Group's course as an Aggie Jumpstart student, because this is a really highly sought after course. Okay, we have sections of this course for Aggie Jumpstart students specifically, and we also have sections of this course for non-Aggie Jumpstart students. So if you do decide to apply and you get into the Aggie Jumpstart program, you will have your own course of career discovery groups. So essentially you're going to have your place saved. And there are a couple different sections of the career discovery groups course dedicated to our Aggie Jumpstart students. And this is a collaboration with the Internship and Career Center. So I know that many of you have questions about getting jobs and getting internships and whether Aggie Jumpstart is going to help you do that. And the answer is yes. Basically, we open up a lot of different opportunities for our students to network. And this is definitely one of them, being in the Career Discovery Group's course. So the way that this course works is that you are in a classroom, a relatively small classroom of 20 to 25 students. And for Aggie Jumpstart students, again, you'll be in a classroom with all of your other Aggie Jumpstart peers. And you will have a graduate student mentor leading your sections each week. So you'll meet with your graduate student mentor and your other peers every week, just like a regular class. Except you're going to go over things like professional development and knowing the resources that are available to you on campus, okay? So don't think of this as an extra course that's going to really bog down your schedule, okay? This is not going to be like your chem course or your physics course. And while some of you, I hope you like those courses and do enjoy those courses, this is going to be much more introspective. We're going to ask you to think about your values, and we're going to really push you to kind of get to know yourself so we can help you explore careers that are well fit for you. So for, for first year freshman students, Career Discovery Groups is a year-long course. So you're going to register in fall, you're going to register in winter, and you're going to register in spring. And again, we will have those registration numbers for you, and we'll give them out to you, and you won't have to be put on any waiting list. For transfer students, we know that transfer students come to UC Davis ready to hit the ground running because you have a limited amount of time once you get to the university setting. So it's a little bit more condensed. We only require career discovery groups for the fall quarter. And in fact, for transfer students, there is only the fall quarter career discovery groups course. But again, you will be with all of your other Aggie Jumpstart peers in a section of the transfer students career discovery course. All right, so I'll go over kind of a broad outline of what the year looks like for career discovery groups. So for freshman students, the fall quarter is really focused on building connections. You're going to build connections with your peer, you're going to build connections with your graduate student mentor. And like I mentioned before, I am a graduate student mentor and I mentor the freshman student sections. So it could be that 20 to 25 of you watching this webinar will be my student for the next year. I hope so, and I'm really excited to meet you all. But so for that first fall quarter, we are going to focus on getting you acquainted with the different campus resources that you have available to you. We know that it can be really overwhelming to come to a university and have so many different resources available. And we really try to break that down for you so you can better understand the resources that you want to use. We focus on understanding your advising support network. So that definitely goes hand in hand with your Aggie Jumpstart advisors. And then we also find different ways for you to assess your current skills and your opportunities for growth. And that kind of leads us into the winter quarter, which is really focused on career preparation. So where fall quarter is a 1-unit pass, no pass course, winter quarter, the stakes are raised slightly. This quarter is 3 units. You will get a letter grade, and it is worth GE or general education credit. Okay, so Again, don't be deterred. These assignments are much more for your personal growth, and they are not so rigorously graded that you need to, be afraid of failing for, punctuation and things like that. It is not that kind of course. We're really just looking for you to put some effort in and to get the most out of it. So for that winter quarter, you are going to learn how to tailor your resume. This is so, so important for getting internships and for getting jobs and for really starting off your next year on the right foot. You're going to learn how to write cover letters and reference lists. You are going to gain access to professional networking events. We have networking events specifically for CDG that we design for our students. We invite professionals in fields that our students are interested in. So you really get an awesome opportunity to network and start professional development. All right, and then we also work on your research, specifically career research and presentation skills. Spring quarter is a little different. We're going back to 1 unit pass, no pass, and spring quarter is just all fun. So the CDG mentors design a huge number of field trips. Again, this is kind of what I was talking about when I met Christian. I was taking my students on a field trip. So we design a ton of different field trips and you get to choose 3 to go on. And then we just ask you to reflect. We ask you to, while you're on the field trips, network with the professionals that are there with you. And it's a lot of fun. So yeah, and so that's for freshman students. I'll go over the transfer student schedule. It's very similar, but a little bit more condensed. For transfer students, again, you're only with us fall quarter. It is a 1 unit pass, no pass course. And we do want to connect you with campus resources. And we do want you to understand your advising support network and also assess your skills and the opportunities that you see for yourself to grow. But we do go ahead and jump into tailoring your resume, your cover letter, your references. Again, because as a transfer student, we know you may be wanting to already apply for internships and apply for jobs and those kinds of things. And then we also have specific networking events for our transfer students as well. All right, I think that is the most information I can fit about CDG for this time. Again, I'm happy to answer questions at the end, or of course you can email me as well. All right, and so the next thing, we are going to transition to talking about community. Okay, so let's take a step back. So we talked about 5 different sort of pillars of Aggie Jumpstart. We had advising, we had CDG, we have community, leadership, and service. So on the community side of things, Aggie Jumpstart really tries to partner with the various retention programs that we have on campus, or retention initiatives that are on campus. So I'm going to go ahead and play around a 10-minute video that's going to explain to you all about the various retention initiatives that we have at UC Davis and that Aggie Jumpstart pairs with, so you all can build your community.
The academic retention initiatives at UC Davis aim to create a sense of belonging by way of a diverse and inclusive community that more accurately reflects the great state of California and all of our global citizens. We know that students with marginalized identities may need extra support, especially early in their education. The retention initiatives and affiliated centers provide services, programs, space, and resources to help guide students through their education while pursuing their programs of study. Currently, there are 4 academic retention initiatives designed to amplify and encourage historically underrepresented and underserved scholar populations. These initiatives also inform campus leadership of the needs of these communities. The very first retention initiative supporting the African diaspora began in 2014, followed by initiatives supporting our Chicanx and Latinx communities and Native and Indigenous communities. Our most recent initiative supports our Asian and Pacific Islander diasporas, which began in 2018. Of the 4 retention initiatives, there are currently 3 affiliated with academic success centers. These centers are located across campus and are accessible to all of our campus communities. The Center for African Diaspora Student Success, also known as CADS, was established in 2015 and is located in 270 South Silo. The Native American Student Success Center, also known as the Native Nest, was established in 2017 and is located at the University House. The Center for Chicanx and Latinx Academic Student Success, also known as El Centro, was established in 2017 and is located on the second floor of the Memorial Union. As of 2021, the Strategic and Pacific Islander Retention Initiative Office is located in the Student Community Center and is currently working with campus to identify a center space. All of our retention initiatives offer services including, but not limited to, academic advising appointments, career coaching and support, referrals to community advising network counselors, study halls, and tutoring. In addition, our retention initiatives also host seminars and workshops, community building and networking events, and leadership development opportunities throughout the academic year. Lastly, there are many support opportunities to work with the retention initiatives that include peer advising, community organizing, volunteering, and internships. Our retention initiatives are well connected across campus and regularly collaborate with many departments and organizations geared towards academic success. The College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, the Biology Academic Success Center, the College of Engineering, and the College of Letters and Science, their respective dean's offices, and all academic programs are some of our key partners. We partner with the Academic Assistance and Tutoring Centers to provide tutoring in the areas of writing, math, physics, and chemistry, to name a few. Additionally, our retention initiatives have liaisons with departments like the Internship and Career Center and the Community Advising Network in Counseling and Health Services to provide culturally specific services for our students. All of our communities are celebrated and uplifted with diaspora-specific programs and organizations embedded within our sibling centers at the Cross-Cultural Center, the Student Recruitment and Retention Center, the Center for Student Involvement, and Living Learning Communities through Student Housing. The Inaugural Retention Initiative and Academic Success Center, the Center for African Diaspora Student Success, is focused on the retention, persistence, and graduation of all undergraduate students of the African diaspora at UC Davis. CADS strives to promote academic success and increase retention and graduation rates by emphasizing community building and engagement, identity development, and self-exploration. Located on the second floor of the South Silo in room 270, the center includes study space, offices for the CADS team, a computer lab, a kitchen, and a dance room. The study area is adjacent to the front lobby and serves as a quiet area and safe space to work on assignments and finish projects. The dance room is also used as a study space for group activities and social events, for seminars, and is open to all CADS visitors. CADS hosts many programs unique to supporting the African diaspora, such as Black Fall Welcome, Black Futures Month, Blurred Out, and the Linda Francis Alexander Scholars Program, and Black Graduation. More information on these programs and annual events can be found on the website at cadss.ucdavis.edu. There are many resources available to students of the African diaspora, which include but are not limited to academic programs of study, living and learning communities, scholarship programs, mental health and wellness programming, and community building opportunities. Meet with the CADS team today to discuss what resources are available and how to best grow your network of support. The Native American Student Success Center, or Native Nest, focuses on creating a sense of belonging at UC Davis for Native American students in a culturally appropriate way. The Retention Initiative and Native Nest are focused on increasing retention, persistence, and graduation rates of Native American students. The goal is building connection and strengthening community. Programming is focused on academic success and resiliency. The Nest is located at the University House on Shields Avenue on the east side of the quad. The Nest includes study space, offices for the NARI team, a computer lab, conference rooms, a library, and a kitchenette. The Nest hosts many programs unique to supporting the Native and Indigenous communities, such as beading circles, tribal and cultural presentations, and Native graduation. More information about these programs and annual events can be found on the website, naasccss.ucdavis.edu. There are many resources available to Native and Indigenous students, which include but are not limited to academic programs of study, living and learning communities, and scholarship programs. Meet with the NARI team today to discuss what resources are available and how to best grow your network of support. The core mission of the Center for Chicanx and Latinx Academic Student Success is to provide academic support space where students thrive as scholars and as unique individuals. The center's practices and services are grounded in access, academic, and empowerment. C-Class or El Centro is an academic center at UC Davis focused on the academic, personal, and professional success of Chicanx and Latinx students, as well as dedicated to dismantling systemic barriers that negatively impact the campus climate for these students. Access allows connection to community, academic, and social support. Academics highlights learning strategies and best practices for the classroom. Empowerment means discovering leadership and career opportunities and exploring them. El Centro is located on the second floor of the Memorial Union in room 210, which faces the quad. El Centro includes study space, offices for the C-Class team, computers, a conference room, and a kitchenette. El Centro hosts many programs unique to supporting Chicanx and Latinx scholars, such as Chicanx Latinx Fall Welcome, Mental Menudo, and Chicanx and Latinx Graduation. More information about these programs and annual events can be found on the website cclass.ucdavis.edu. There are many resources available to Chicanx and Latinx students, which include but are not limited to academic programs of study, living and learning communities, and scholarship programs. Meet with the El Centro staff today to discuss what resources are available and how to best grow your network of support. The Strategic Asian and Pacific Islander Retention Initiative is dedicated to the academic, personal, and professional success of all UC Davis scholars who identify with the Asian and Pacific Islander diasporas. A&PI Retention Initiative is a conduit of support for Asian and Pacifica scholars as they navigate the university. Diverse programs and services provide culturally specific support to empower and promote the successful degree completion for scholars of these diasporas through academic excellence, connectedness, and empowering leaders. The A&PI Retention Initiative is located on the second floor of the Community Center in room 2405. As of the 2021 and 2022 academic year, there is currently no academic center for this retention initiative. Space is commonly reserved in the Student Community Center, and kitchen access is available in the SCC when A&PI retention staff are present. The A&PI Retention Initiative hosts many programs unique to supporting Asian and Pacifica scholars, such as Asian and Pacific Islander and Southwest Asian and North African Fall Welcome, Summer Student Leadership Conference, and 2 culturally specific graduation ceremonies in support of our Filipinx and Southeast Asian scholar communities. More information about these programs and annual events can be found on the website at apiretention.ucdavis.edu. There are many resources available to the A&PI scholar community, which include but are not limited to academic programs of study, living and learning communities, and scholarship programs. Meet with the A&PI Retention Initiative team today to discuss what resources are available and how to best grow your network of support. We look forward to helping you create a sense of belonging and a network of support during your time here at UC Davis. We hope to see you at one of our events, at one of our academic success centers, or at one of our many community gatherings with our campus partners. Be sure to visit any of our retention initiative teams to get academic support, career advice, or just to say hello. We can't wait to meet you. The academic retention initiatives at UC.
All right. So hopefully that was really informational for you all about our various academic retention initiatives that we have on campus. So for our community kind of section of Aggie Jumpstart, we really pair with these retention initiatives so that we could introduce our students to the various centers. So here are some of just a handful of the events that we had last quarter. So we had Notes of Kindness with the Asian and Pacific Islander Retention Initiative. And again, you don't have to be of Asian or Pacific Islander background to join in on these events, but we ask all of our Aggie Jumpstart students to come together, support one another, and get to know one another through these events. We also had Waffle Wednesday with El Centro. This was a really popular one. I can't even tell you how many waffles we prepared for students, and it was delicious. We had appreciation card making with the Native Nest. And we also had breakfast buddies. Again, the food-based events are always pretty popular. We do love to give you all free food. And that one was with the Center for African Diaspora Student Success. And again, this is just a handful, and we are really into designing these events based on your interests. If you want to do a cooking class with CADS, or have pan dulce with El Centro, we definitely take in all of your wants and needs, and we try to make that happen. Okay, so next we are going to talk with Ko about the final two aspects of Aggie Jumpstart, which is that leadership and service component.
Yes, but wait, there's more. So all great things that have been talked about thus far with the advising, the career discovery groups, and the retention centers and everything they have to offer, but we don't stop there, folks. So the last two, and I should probably introduce myself, maybe that's important. So hello, I'm Ko. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Student Leadership Program Coordinator in the Dean's Office in the college. And so part of my role of Aggie Jumpstart is to provide the leadership and service aspect. So as you can see on the screen, we provide a lot of leadership workshops. And these are really just to, you're learning a lot of things in class, you're learning a lot of professional development within career discovery groups. And we want you to be able to tie that all up in a bow with really honing in on those leadership skills. So we do different leadership activities, and my whole motto is, if there is a fun way to do something, that is the way I do it. So we do a lot of simulation activities. We do some group conversations, some self-assessments. If you are like, I used to be like really into those BuzzFeed quizzes, if you're into those, but like leadership focused, we do a lot of those. And there's some previous workshop topics, and Julie will also kind of flip through some of our past flyers, what makes you a leader, some networking. Networking is always kind of, I feel like it always intimidates me, and I would consider myself a true extrovert. So just practice with that. What skills will get you hired? So really talking about what are those transferable skills, as well as decision-making and group dynamics, like what role do you play in a group? Why do you play it? Are you able to articulate that to someone? Decision-making, we're doing that every day, but do we really think about how we're making decisions and what informs those decisions, and so on and so forth? So the leadership aspect is also nice, fun out of the classroom activity. We have done them both in person and on Zoom. So we have a collection. We tend to offer 2 to 3, but it is not mandatory by any means. Really, if it fits into your schedule, and if the topic sounds cool, this is one way to fulfill that leadership requirement. So we'll move on next to the service component. So yes, community service is something that's also part part of my role in that we bring to Aggie Jumpstart. And the whole focus around this is just community building. And we look at community building kind of through a couple different ways. Is one, some of you may not be from the area and might not know a lot about Davis or the surrounding towns or areas. So this is a great way to get out of Davis, get to see a little bit of what's going on. So we provide service opportunities. We provide service opportunities to Aggie Jumpstart students as well as the College of Ag students. So this is a great way, once again, outside of the classroom to get to engage with your fellow Jumpstarters, but also other students within the college too, a way to make friends. We do service activities both on and off campus. So we've done them at the Honeybee Haven, which was like a great opportunity for people to go out there and see that space. We've done like a park cleanup in the city of Sacramento. We've done community harvest where people like who just randomly have a lot of fruit trees but don't have a need for all the fruit. There's an organization that comes out there and harvests them and actually donates them to the food bank. So a lot of different options, some things maybe you all have interest and passion with, and some things that may be completely out of your wheelhouse, but a cool opportunity to get to learn something new. So the community building aspect is literally building with the community, learning a little bit about the area, but also building community with each other. So like I said, other students in the college as well as Aggie Jumpstarters. So, and we've also had a lot of staff members too from the dean's office participate in these types of activities. So also a really great way to build those relationships with advisors outside of the office and kind of not always talking about like, you know, like classes or like things that are going on that might be impacting your academics, but just like a low key, just, you know, painting a bench and get to know each other. So, and you can see a couple of the other previous service events we've had. So hopefully this sounds cool to you, and we hope that you apply to be part of Aggie Jumpstart because we're a fun group. Granted, we might be a little biased. And last but not least, I'm going to pass it over to Greg who can tell you how to apply for this great program. Take it away, Greg.
So if after you've been learning about the program, if you've decided that you want to apply, I'm going to actually share my screen really quick here. There is on our Aggie Jumpstart website, we have a link right here to apply to Aggie Jumpstart by July 1st. That is this Friday, so that application is coming up soon. The application is really, really quick and easy. There's not a ton of information. So it's just your information, freshman or transfer, which career discovery group works for you, and then answering a couple of questions. So it's a very straightforward application that we would love to see students complete if you'd like to participate in the Aggie Jumpstart program. And with that, we are going to turn it over to a Q&A. Oh, and also, if you have other questions that come up after this conversation, you can also email us at aggiejumpstart@ucdavis.edu. But we do have an opportunity now that if you have questions, feel free to throw them in that Q&A at the bottom of the screen. I feel like that screen should have another layer going like further and further in with smaller and smaller green arrows. Thank you everyone who's putting links in the chat so that everyone has access to them, our email, our website. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, HK. If you do have a question, please go ahead. I see there's a raised hand. Please go ahead and put those questions in the Q&A.
Oh, also just plug really quick, we do have an Instagram for Aggie Jumpstart. This next year, we're going to try to be using that a little bit more, I think, and advertise some of those events that we were just talking about with CO's leadership and service events, and then the community events as well. Yeah, so feel free to check that out and see what our last year of Aggie Jumpstart looks like.
All right, there's a lot of questions in the chat sort of related to the admissions to the program. So some of the questions I'm seeing is how likely are you to get into the program after applying? If I submitted a form, how do I know if I'm in the program? Can I be a part of the program if I'm already involved in STEP? So how likely are you to get into the program after applying, it really depends on how many students apply. We do have a fixed number of seats in both our first year and our transfer CDGs, and that's sort of our limiting factor. We have 20 spots in each of our first year CDG sections and 25 spots in our transfer. So we have a total of 65 spots. Now, if 70 students apply, then you have a very good chance. If 200 students apply, then it becomes a little bit more selective. So that comes to one of the other questions I did see in the chat is, what key factors do you look for in ideal candidates for this program? I won't say that we necessarily look for specific factors. We want to make sure that we have a good mix of students who are planning on taking advantage of the program. As we mentioned, that there are components with attending community events, attending advising, attending service and leadership events, and we really want to see students that want to make the most of their first year and build that community and are eager to participate in those activities. There's a question that says, if I submitted a form for Aggie Jumpstart, how do I know if I'm in the program? So once that July 1st deadline has passed, we are going to look at those applications and we're going to notify applicants roughly 1 week after of their acceptance waitlist into Aggie Jumpstart. And we will also, because students in the College of Ag will be registering for their classes on July 18th for first years, and then I forget the exact date, but early August for transfer students, we'll be sending you the course codes so that you can register for those career discovery groups. Gonna take a deep breath. So there's another question that says, can I be a part of the program if I'm already planning on joining another program such as STEP? The answer is absolutely, definitively yes. You're absolutely welcome to participate in both programs. There is some overlap in the resources that they're going to provide to you, but there's also a difference in the resources that they're going to provide to you and the experiences that you'll have. So please don't take the fact that you're participating in STEP as a reason to not apply for the program.
All right, and thank you so much, Greg. Whoa, you tackled a ton of those. Thank you. I see a question here. Does the leadership and service opportunities overlap with what we'll do in CDG, or are they more of their own thing? So it may overlap. So in CDG, we also really try to let our students know about various opportunities like career fairs and different things going on campus. And that's also what we try to do in Aggie Jumpstart. So it definitely may be that you get notified of two or of the same both from CDG and Aggie Jumpstart. And if you attend that event, then you'll get credit for Aggie Jumpstart and as well as CDG. So they may overlap. In many cases, they may not overlap. And, you know, during your kind of free time when you are notified of an event going on for Aggie Jumpstart, you know, you'll attend that event and you'll see many of your peers there that are also in your CDG class, but that's not necessarily for CDG credit, but it is for Aggie Jumpstart credit. And actually one thing that I failed to mention that is very important, as you kind of like start attending events and you have your meetings with your advisors, at the end of each quarter, we tally all of the ways that you have participated in Aggie Jumpstart. And if you meet certain requirements, you will earn gift cards. So up to $100 in gift cards you can earn just by literally participating in Aggie Jumpstart and going to the events that we suggest for you and that we organize for you. I can't believe I didn't mention that very important aspect. So I see another question. What's the difference between being a first year seminar course and a career discovery course in Aggie Jumpstart? I am not totally sure, and that might just be my lack of knowledge about the difference between seminar courses and career discovery groups course. But so I think there is a section for first year students, for first year freshman students for career discovery groups. And then there is a section for transfer students for career discovery groups. And for Aggie Jumpstart, that's the only course that you would need to register for in order to be in the Aggie Jumpstart program.
And in relation to those first year seminar courses, a couple of differences is the career discovery group is really focused on you. It's focused on your major path. It's focused on your grad school path and career path. It's focusing on helping you explore campus. There are some first year seminars. So for anyone who's not familiar with them, first year seminars are essentially a class that you sign up for. They're typically 1 or 2 units. One major difference is they're only a quarter long, as opposed to the career discovery group is a year-long commitment. Some of them do help focus on like navigating college or college success skills. However, some of them are just on very niche topics. I was looking at their website, I think it was just yesterday when I was meeting with a student, and they have a class on bridges and bridge engineering and design. I've seen classes on agriculture around the world. Essentially what they often are is they are, professors will take their areas of expertise and they'll try to sum it up in a very short seminar. So they're not always necessarily you focused, they're focused on an interesting topic. So you can definitely do a first year seminar and Aggie Jumpstart if you'd like, since they do focus on 2 slightly different things.
Okay, so there's another question about the kind of time commitment for Aggie Jumpstart. And I think one of the huge benefits to Aggie Jumpstart is that we don't have this laid out super rigorous schedule that all of our students, have to complete in order to be a part of the program. It's really kind of like a do as you go, like be involved as much as you can be involved, as far as the attending events and things like that. Again, you are required to stay in the Career Discovery Groups course. And like I mentioned, that course is not the most rigorous and heavy load. But as far as attending events, you are not required to attend any of the events. We really, really encourage you to get the most out of the program by going to those events and really communicating with your peers and growing your network that way. But you are not going to get a bad grade, for not going to all of the events. I think I would say that career discovery groups and meeting with your advisors are the 2 kind of biggest components of Aggie Jumpstart that we really want you to attend and do well in. And then everything else is just kind of like a benefit to you. So I think that it is a program that works well with a lot of student schedules because you can pick and choose which events you want to go to. Okay, and then I see a question. You mentioned field trips during the spring quarter. What do members of Aggie Jumpstart usually do during those? So this is kind of a really fun and interesting side to the spring quarter career discovery groups. So you can attend the field trips with other career discovery group students who are not in Aggie Jumpstart. And so you can just pick and choose which field trips you want to go on. And so, oh gosh, this past year we had such really, really cool field trips. One of them, we got to take students to the behind the scenes of kind of the veterinary services at the Sacramento Zoo. So our students got to see the operating room, they got to talk to veterinarians, they got to do some like fake practice tranquilizing, not on live animals. What else? Yeah, I took my students to Lake Tahoe and we visited the Environmental Research Center out there. But there, I'm kind of focusing more on environmental research and animals because that is what I am interested in, but we have many other opportunities. Yeah, our students visited a ton of different businesses. So yeah, you will be able to pick and choose what you do for the spring quarter. And there will be 3 field trips that you attend. And again, it's going to be spread across a calendar and you can choose what works with your schedule and what interests you.
There's a couple other questions. I thank you, Lily and Honora. I want to throw a couple questions your way. Honora, first, does Aggie Jumpstart cost anything for students?
Absolutely not. We are so excited to welcome you. We're very excited. We will not ask you for any monetary of compensation or application fee. We are going to be giving you the rewards. So please, please, please apply. Lily.
I just wanted to add that the money part, just because the program is really what you make of it. And I think that since there are 5 components, I have to admit sometimes students, and even as an advisor, I'm thinking, how can I help you fill the 5 components? And you know, maybe one quarter you don't get the gift card incentives, but you participated in a few things. Maybe the whole year you're in CDG and you did all the advising appointments. That alone is still more than a lot of other students might get in their first year. As an advisor, as a first gen low income background student, when I was an undergrad, I'm like, get me the money. So I'm trying to help you make sure that you're taking advantage of these things so that you can receive those incentives at the end of the quarter. But there is no cost to you to participate, and you will only benefit at the level that you want to participate in. Because I've had lots of students over the years attend a leadership workshop where it was just like 1 or 2 students with the fabulous co-haws. And they came back to me and they were like, I had co for the whole hour, just me and co. And it was amazingly beneficial. So I just wanted to put a big emphasis on the money.
I'll add, I also made sure that we got kind of different levels of gift cards. So we started it this last quarter where if you attend your 2 advising appointments and 1 event, you're getting a $25 gift card at the end of the quarter. So I was really excited about that. Yeah, absolutely. Students love, you know, doing it for the money. Don't blame you.
We have another question about we would have to build our schedules around the course time being offered, correct? And the answer is yes, but. So participating in Aggie Jumpstart, you do need to enroll in the career discovery group, of course, that's correct. But there are 2 different times on 2 different days. And in the application, you can choose which day